It's really so great to see all of you here. Thank you for coming. I'm Mary Middleton, the Executive Director here at Stone Soup Group. Yeah, so we're here today to honor Cheri, and Cheri is the founder of Stone Soup Group, and here today to receive this much deserved lifetime achievement. We have Cheri's family with us and friends and so many of us who have been a part of her journey over the years. Our Stone Soup Group staff is here, board members, past and present. And so I wanted to take a minute. We have two other executive directors. So Lynn Castle is with us, Kathy Alvey is with us, which is really exciting to see. And then Beth Kaplan and Stephanie Burge were also a part of writing that initial grant that got Stone Soup started, and Beth too with the Parent Navigator with Cheri in those very early years in 1992. So it's really special to have you here, to have that history in the room, and you know, in 34, 35 years later, to still have all of you a part of our Soupy family, as you like to call it, it's special. So thank you all for being here. I didn't know Cheri before I started at Stone Soup, and when I started in 2013, I kept hearing from everyone, oh, you have to talk to Cheri, you have to talk to Cheri, you have to talk to Cheri. I really didn't know who Cheri was. And I didn't fully understand her history and her involvement with Stone Soup, but I reached out and she very graciously answered all of my emails and all the random questions that I had, and came in and met with me in person, even came in and did training with new staff who were onboarding. And that support from her as a new ED in an organization that was new to me, just it really meant a lot, and it helped me feel included and grounded, and really just rooted in our mission with a really clear understanding of why we were here and what we were meant to do. And so today is all about honoring Cheri and the impact that she's had on so many families all across the state, families that look like mine and look like all of yours. But we have joining us on Zoom, we do have some guests who are participating on Zoom who are just here to listen, other friends and supporters for Cheri. But we also have Alyssa Ware, who is the Executive Director of Family Voices. And we have Danielle Champion, who is the National Research Manager for the University of Wisconsin's School of Medicine and Public Health. And then Jay Berry, who is the Children and Youth Special Healthcare Needs Research Network from Boston Children's Hospital at Harvard Medical School. The three of them are here today to help present this award to Cheri. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Elizabeth.
Great, thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ceremony to honor Cheri Scott as a 2025 Pediatric Complex Care Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. I am Alyssa Ware, Executive Director of Family Voices National and co-investigator of the Maternal and Child Health Bureau Systems and Policy Research Network. I have to get my tongue used to that. We just rebranded. We were formerly known as the Children and Youth with Special Healthcare Needs Research Network. And as was just shared, with me is Jay Berry, who is our fearless leader of the research network, and Dania Champion, who keeps us all in line and all the trains on the track. So we are all excited to be here to celebrate Cheri and her amazing accomplishments over decades, right? And so I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about why we're here and what this award is all about. Ultimately, Cheri has been nominated and selected for her lifetime commitment and hard work in helping children with medical complexities and their families. Cheri, it is an absolute pleasure to welcome you, your families, and colleagues in celebration of your amazing accomplishments. This is a huge and very special day, and I wish I was there to join you all in Alaska. Um, Before I get started, I want to thank our supporters of our award. Again, this comes from the Systems and Policy Research Network, which is funded by our partners at the Maternal and Child Health Bureau, the Children's Hospital Association, the Academic Pediatrics Association, Complex Care and Disability Special Interest Group, and my home, Family Voices, where I get to work every day. I also want to thank all of the people that have helped bring you all here today. Definitely Lisa Bennett and the amazing team there at Stone Soup Group has done a tremendous job in helping to organize and celebrate Cheri for all of her amazing accomplishments. Just to tell you a little bit about the award, this is our second year actually giving out the award. We with the entire focus on celebrating individuals from any background or profession who have dedicated their lives through a lifetime of commitment and hard work to serve children with medical complexity and their families. And also individuals who have made exceptional, long-lasting contributions to help the children and their families in areas including clinical care delivery, advocacy, healthcare policy, administration, research, and education, as well as lived experience incorporated into any of those areas. We give this award out. This year, we have 3 recipients that have received the award, and Cheri is one of 3 of those recipients. And she is our lived experience awardee. And we are excited about being able to celebrate all that she has done. Our selection process was competitive. I will just tell you, we have a lot of people out here doing amazing work for children and youth with special healthcare needs and those with medical complexities. And Cheri's application stood out among a multidisciplinary committee of lived experience individuals, clinicians, and others. The committee was moved to tears. It was hard to select. We literally got to read all about the applicants' compassionate and unwavering commitment and work to help children with medical complexity and their families continue to thrive. And Cheri is no exception to that. And so without further ado, I want to go ahead and present Cheri with the award. To do that, I'm actually going to invite Lisa Bennett, who nominated Cheri for the award, to come to the stage to introduce Cheri and tell you all about her amazing work and share the award with her. So Lisa, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, so to Cheri Scott, she's an advocate. So I'm going to pass this award to Cheri, and Cheri, turn around. Sure. When the email came into my inbox, and I'm sure it came into Mary's inbox as well, it was one of those things where it was who would be appropriate for Cheri's name stood out. It wasn't just my information on the application. I had to include 2 more people. I reached out to Lisa Nolan and Tammy Eller as well. I would be up here for a long time if I were to read everything that I put on my application and everything that Lisa and Tammy included in the application as well. So what I did is I took my part, Lisa's part, and Tammy's part and compiled it all together. So I'm going to read it to you, Cheri. So Cheri's journey began at home, raising 3 children, 2 with disabilities, and later supporting her grandchildren. What started as a mother's determination became a lifelong advocacy that touched families across Alaska and beyond. As a founding member of Stone Soup Group, she helped build an organization rooted in the belief that every family deserves compassionate, coordinated care. For more than 2 decades, Cheri has traveled across the state teaching about FASD, family partnerships, and inclusion. Her voice has always carried honesty, empathy, and strength. Even in retirement, she continues to teach, now alongside her son, Justin. Modeling partnership she has always championed. Cheri is not only a mother and a mentor, she's a movement builder. Today, we celebrate her lifetime of courage, compassion, and impact. Her story reminds us that one voice rooted in lived experience could change the world. She continues to support our trainings that we have, our fun events, our Santa party, Barks in the Park. She still shows up. She's just like I said earlier, she's so rooted in our community. It's our honor to celebrate her today. So thank you all for joining us. I am going to hand the mic over to Cheri because we want to hear from you.
Sorry, don't try to keep it clapping. Yeah. Okay, everyone, or thumbs up, you know. Um, I'm amazed with this. I told a few of you that I got an email and it wasn't from anybody I knew, and so I just didn't open it. And then about half an hour later, there was a reply to that original email from Lisa. Saying, "Oh, I'm so glad that you selected Cheri." And I thought, well, I guess this is okay. I should probably go back and see what that's all about. And I had no clue. This is a pretty amazing honor for living life, just taking care of my family, helping other families find the things that they needed. And before I go any farther, I want to say, take out your pens, and if you have a copy of the information in front of you where it says founder of Stone Soup Group, you need to write co-founder, because there are several of the other original founding members and planners here. And if you're one of those people, please stand up. Kathy Alley, everybody, you know who you are. Stand up. Yeah. And actually, in those days, Kathy and I both were struggling to help our kids stay in kindergarten for the whole day. And so when we went in to be interviewed for positions, we saw each other there in the waiting room. We went, oh man, she's going to get the job. And we both went home thinking, yeah, well, darn it, but that would have been a great job. And then we got a call saying, what do you think about job sharing? And so we split the difference and we each worked 20 hours a week. And that gave us the time we needed to still be there with our little people that needed us to be pretty much on site in the school too. It worked beautifully. And I want to point out that Beth Kaplan, would you please stand up again? Beth Kaplan was the clinic coordinator, and she oversaw what we were doing as parent navigators and helped me in particular learn how to take and give legible notes in the medical folders, because I didn't have a clue. Back then, we didn't have a single computer. That's right, we had one and we would share it. And if we wanted, we were working out of the mail room at Hope Community Resources. Yeah. Luckily, we job shared, so we didn't totally take up the whole room. Anyway, directors came and went. That core of Beth, Kathy, and I continued on by ourselves through several different people. And one of the most exciting things that we did, I think, was taking the time out of our work supporting families to look back through the files and realize that a huge percentage of the kids that were coming to us were coming not because of a known genetic or physical difference. Behavioral issues brought them to our clinic. And that became the next dragon to slay, was how to get those kids that had challenging behaviors and poor communication skills the services they needed. And I think we did an amazing job. We did. We did a great job. And looking to a variety of agencies and bureaucrats at the state level and the federal level, I think we all learned a lot of skills that came in handy in the future jobs that we had. And over time, different staff moved on to different places and improved the organizations that they were working with because of the beginning that they had. So I'm the one that stuck around. It was my happy place. I love Stone Soup Group. The idea of it is just amazing to me. And I believe we were one of the first states to have a family advocate on a multidisciplinary clinic. So yeah, we broke ground, and it, our term parent navigator that we came up became something that's used throughout the health systems now. There's navigators of all kinds, but the point is we're all trying to help individuals that are in need of assistance and get them to where they need to go. So I wanted to say thank you again. I'm going to take this down to the common house at Ravensroost, where I live, with an extended family of extraordinary people that all provide the same kind of support and level of communication with their neighbors. It's a great place for us to be living, not just for my son and my family, but my extended family. And we all have figured out a way to be together. And it was a hard go at the beginning, but it works. So you just keep taking a step at a time, right? And you can change the world. I think now more than ever, we need to remember what we're about and don't be afraid to speak up. These are difficult times, but if you don't speak up, it appears that you agree with what's going on. So I'll get off my little soapbox and pass the mic back. Thank you very much.
So what we would like to do now is just open up the floor, open up the mic. The floor has a very small area, so if you want to come up, share a story about Cheri, just how that connection was, come on up, be in this area so everyone can hear. But I have something from Mandy Link. She's our parent navigator program manager. She's actually on a girls trip this week. So she wrote up something for Cheri, and I'm going to read it. Cheri, the first time I remember meeting you was volunteering to review and give input into the Eddie Parent Notebook, which must have been about 24 years ago at this point. I remember how knowledgeable and even at that point, you showed me, a new parent, how to respond, and that we as parents have a very specific skill set and expertise that is wanted and needed. Thank you for all you have done over the many years advocating for your children, as well as so many others. You have guided me into being a competent parent and now a professional who's able to pass this along to others as well. I hope I can be a fraction of the inspiration to others that you have been to me. Thank you for all your wisdom, stories, and awesome perspective. Congratulations on a well-deserved award.
This is from all of Stone Soup. We had a 11th logic class, and as a preschool special ed teacher, I was taking that, and I met an extraordinary woman through that, actually a couple, Carol and Dodd Shea, and they have Alaska assistant dogs, and that because of that connection, they came to my preschool at Mountain View, and we had dogs for the preschoolers morning and afternoon, and the children would train these dogs. And this was because of Stone Soup that we made that connection. And the program expanded to the whole school. Children would take their lunch time, come to our classroom, and work with the dogs and have only like 5 or 10 minutes for lunch because it was so valuable. And so that's how things spread out and grow. And I am so grateful for that program. And it was a big part of my teaching life. So thank you, Cheri. And Stone Soup.
I wanted to share that I did live in Ketchikan, Alaska for 17 years. And when I found out that Justin and Cheri would travel around the state to meet with other Alaskans to teach them, I was absolutely entranced with the work that Justin and Cheri have done. That's extremely meaningful. I'm sure you all know how under-resourced outlying parts of Alaska can be. And so when you live in one of those areas, people that come from the big urban area, you think they're superstars. And I'll guarantee you that Cheri and Justin are superstars. So thank you both.
Our neighbors were interested, and they were one of the 7 founding families that started this project. They kind of took this wild leap of faith and did it. And I just want to tell you, I'm so thankful that I can come over to your house with my little grandbaby and sit and just hang out with you. You know, the door's always open, and I just love you both. I say thank you, especially your other half over there. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Liz DeSchweinis. I've been a family practitioner here since 1986. Worked at the neighborhood health center for years. I'd never heard of Cheri Scott until she started Ravensroost co-housing with us. But I can tell you the impact of Stone Soup Group. So I had many multi-generational families in my practice. I had one where my main patient gave birth at 12 to 14 years old. And she had special needs kids. And I didn't have the resources to help her be a good parent to those kids, but she loved them fiercely. And Stone Soup Group was what helped her keep those kids and raise those kids and advocate for those kids in a way that was amazing to see. And over all the years I took care of that family, Stone Soup Group's been amazing. Thank you, Cheri.
Hi, my name is Cindy Hensley, and I'm the CEO of an agency in town called Cindy and Dick's R&R, and I'm coming to you as Cheri, who is the mom of Justin. Justin's been a part of our program for well over 15 years now. I've known Cheri and Justin for longer than that, and one of the things that I love about Cheri and Alan is they are the cool parents. They are the parents who are always available. They are the parents who are always making sure Justin is engaged and doing things. They are the parents that reach out on the weekends to some of Justin's friends and assure that the friends get over to the Ravensroost for art afternoon, things that are happening. They are the people that really advocate for Justin and his facilitating friendships and keeping them engaged. And we get to hang out and do races and have spaghetti night. And not all parents are like that, Cheri, and not all parents are like that, Alan. It really isn't. You are special humans, and you have a love for Justin and for all of us that support that social engagement. And so I'm grateful. I love what Stone Soup does. I love that you've been who you are, and it's just natural. I heard you say, it's just kind of me up here too in life, but you're doing it so well. You're doing it so well, and it seems so effortless. And I think we're all like, I want to be like Cheri when I grow up. I know that I do. And so just Cheri, thank you and congratulations. Justin, thank you and congratulations. Alan, thank you and congratulations. So much love to all of you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is MJ. I was on the board of Stone Soup Group about 15 years ago, and then I ended up doing Megan's job. And then I've transitioned into another path of public service. And so I went on to work at Channel 2, and then I worked for the chief of police for the Anchorage Police Department, and now I work for the superintendent at the Anchorage School District. Cheri and Justin are at the core of sort of my purpose-driven life. I'm a big believer in that book. Donna took me to church a couple times when I was working there and kept me connected to that path. But I've never forgotten Cheri and the impact that she made on my life and helping educate me in about this community and working towards a better life for the community. And I think FASD is a big subject that I got educated on about from you and Justin, and you've made an impact. I was thinking about you a couple weeks ago. I don't believe in coincidence. So Barb hit me up and said that this opportunity was happening. I just happened to have space on my calendar today, and I just wanted to be here and just thank you for the impact that you made. We had a really short amount of time together in the bigger picture, but it was a big impact. And just listening to you and hearing all the stories and what this award is about, it's just a reflection of the impact that you've made on this community. So thank you. You've made an impact on my path. So all the best.
My name is Anna Burgess, and I'm a parent navigator for Stone Soup Group. I'm also the program coordinator for the Mentor Advocate Partner Program that we have at Stone Soup Group. I've been with the company for about 6 years now, and I have a secret Cheri story. So when I first started 6 years ago, Barb, she actually walked me through and kind of told me how the program worked and what I was supposed to do and who my current mentor parents were. So when I got, involved and was starting to set things up and stuff, I went through and I called all of the mentor parents that were on my list to talk to them and get to know them and figure out what their stories were. And Cheri was actually one of the very first ones that I got a hold of. And I am a parent of a kiddo, not complex, but he was one of the GAP kids who was disabled, but not disabled enough to get a lot of services. So it was a constant battle and constant fight. And so when I talked to Cheri and she told me her story and Justin's story and the fight that she had been through, I could really identify. But then she told me other things too, about how important it was to be able to connect with other parents who were going through the same thing, which I didn't have when my kiddo was little. And so I really identified with that. Sorry, I'm emotional today. So I just wanted to thank her because by starting Stone Soup Group, you gave the community of parents like me someone to call when things were not great and someone to talk to when we needed somebody to talk to. So thank you.
So I'm Stephanie Rice-Birch, and I know Cheri a long time. You go back a little. But one of the most impactful things I had with working with Cheri is when I was the administrator of the Children's Hospital at Providence, and we were going through a major remodel. And Cheri and Al and Justin came, and they participated as a family advisory committee, and Justin was part of the teen and kids committee. And they really helped to impact the space to make sure that we had places for families to stay in the room. They helped to design the motifs. They helped to raise money, for that space to get created. And probably most importantly, they talked about the importance of parents being involved in their children's care and really moving to a philosophy of care by parent, which was a big change for the nursing staff, particularly in the NICU, who were used to being the parent until they felt the child was ready to go home. And so they needed to really kind of do a mind shift to realize that they were caregivers and parents were always parents. But Cheri, in her very quiet way, helped the nursing staff, to really see beyond what their role was and really to make an impact on parent navigation and what the role of parents were in partnering with the healthcare system to get kids better. So I thank you for that, Cheri. The thing is, yes, the thing is teamwork. And I mean, you've heard it about Alan and Cheri and Raven's Roost and all her experiences. And it was also about the beginning of Stone Soup and being a team. And it was always reinforced to me that the team was greater than the sum of parts. And we really believed the parable of Stone Soup and everybody contributing a little to the greater good. And I learned a lot we all learned from each other. I mean, 30 years ago, we were a lot younger. And I'll pass it on. Your turn.
I think it's important to know that when we started Stone Soup Group, we didn't have a manual. We were together, and all of a sudden we needed to work together to create Stone Soup Group and what services they were going to provide and how we were going to provide them and what the materials were that needed to be developed that we had to develop ourselves. So it was all very grassroots and very much a teamwork, like sharing the computer. We shared everything, and it was just a really good time. So we developed probably stuff that you've not heard of anymore, but a paper trail notebook is a tool to help families.
Still have the notebook.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah, so that was one of the first things that we did, was just a way for families to keep all their materials together. And then we did the identiform, which I think is my God, but no, there. Anybody use it? No.
Is it,
You know, it's
is it electronic? We tried so hard to make it
Yeah,
electronic.
and then we worked on creating an electronic bulletin board, so that this is when the internet was just brand new, and we thought that this could be a great way to connect families to one another. And it was all of us together.
Yeah.
And it was a really good time for all of us. I don't know if you want to share anything about those early days.
We worked with a physician that needed a lot of encouragement to finish his notes. So we could get them to the families so that they could move on with their plan. And I think we came up with a lot of interesting ways to push that agenda. Sometimes successfully, sometimes not. But it gave us a lot of opportunities to reinforce good behavior. And just as the healthcare providers were not used to working with parents as equals, we were still having to overcome that idea that they were on pedestals and maybe we shouldn't say anything in a meeting, even though in our heads or back in the office, we would be like, they need to change this. But you got three of us together, we could do it because we had each other's back. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of parent navigators have come and gone through the doors since then. I don't even know how many, but I'm just so excited that the original 3 employees, besides our ED, we're still in the state of Alaska and honestly still doing great work, you know?
Yeah.
And our kids are doing really well too. And that's what our goal was when we started, was figuring out a way to make sure our kids do well. Thank you, Michael. I'm going to wrap that.
Cheri is the one that came up with that term parent advocate. I remember you saying it one day, and I thought, maybe it would work. And now, I mean, everybody uses that term, but she was the first. And everybody else thought it was a great idea too.
Yeah. We should have patented that. Copyright, whatever.
I just want to say that I think my work back at the beginning has guided a lot of, well, my outlook. And some of it I was fortunate to come out of another program
even before then, that sowed the seeds of looking at every member of the team, from the child to the parent to the professionals, bring them along to as everybody part of the team. And I had the privilege of going to a something called the Copernicus Project many years ago, and he talked about spend more time on your supporters than your naysayers. And sometimes we tend to want to convince our naysayers, but especially in these times, put your energy into your supporters, and remember, the sum is greater than its parts. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I remember a phone call from a dear friend that said, there's a job opening at this place that has your name written all over it, and you need to apply. So I did, and I came in for an interview, and all of the staff were sitting at the table. And Cheri was one of those people sitting at the table. And I don't know what part she played in the fact that I'm here. And I've, worked from for Stone Soup since, but Cheri, that's not the first time I met you. I remember I was working at Head Start, and we were at a training in a building in Mountain View across from Clark Middle School, and we were learning about FASD. And I remember Justin being there, and I want to say he was somewhere between 5 and 8 years old. I really don't remember exactly, but he was over in the corner of the room while we were learning the things that we needed to learn to take back to Head Start and be the people in the classroom. I was a bus driver, so I needed to know that, and we were learning from them, and we were learning from Justin in live action right then, because he was moving around the room and doing those things. But all of these years, I've learned a lot. And Cheri went from being a coworker, a trainer, a teacher. Donna, this is really what you need to do about these things. And yes, that paper trail. My first week, Heather Amy came and showed me how to put together a paper trail, and I've done thousands of them since. So it's been wonderful. But Cheri, you are a good heart of that. And at that time, I knew Beth. Beth was upstairs, and she would come down and check on us. And I met Kathy in and out of doing things, but so many wonderful, wonderful things. And Stone Soup has changed my life too, and made it better because of the people here that support this agency. Thank you. Thank you, Cheri. Congratulations.
Cheri, just wanted to say congratulations. When we were reading through your application, there were a lot of I words that people talked about, like how intuitive you were to kind of realize these gaps that you could help fill in. Integrative. We've heard so many comments about the teamwork and how you pulled people together and were so welcoming. The innovativeness, like really ahead of its time of thinking about the navigators. And you're right. It's an international phenomenon now. And you guys were so ahead of the curve on that. And impactful. Just, it's so great to hear all the stories and all the impact that you had. And just so inspiring. We really appreciate you guys letting us meet your soupy family with you here today. And congratulations.
I'm happy to say congrats too, and that it's been a pleasure to work with you all and to learn more about Stone Soup Group. And it's just lovely to be here and to be able to witness all of this.
Thank you for having us.